Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you are coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new, please consider subscribing by the end of this video. I'm trying to do something a little bit new with my channel. Normally I would just post every Thursday, but I'm considering uploading Mondays and Thursdays and keeping Thursdays as specifically like sustainable health related, and then have Mondays be times when I'm throwing in videos like anti-MLM videos or just general meaningful success kind of videos that I'm thinking about creating. So today I am actually going to be going over an audio recording that I have that was sent to me by my upline. If you haven't checked out my Amway story, I was in a multi-level marketing company for 2.5 years. The company's name was Amway, and I did 6 videos telling my entire story, and then a 7th video recapping with my family how the multi-level marketing or network marketing experience affected me personally and affected the people who were closest to me. So obviously I am not pro multi-level marketing, but I wanted to show some of the recruitment tactics that multi-level marketers use in order to draw people in and get them more interested in their business, so that they will eventually join and spend a lot of money and lose a lot of money trying to make their own business in a network marketing company. So I have this phone call. The reason why this phone call was sent to me was my upline sent out this phone call to all of the people in their downline so that we could listen to the phone call and learn from the recruitment tactics. The person on the other end of the line was not notified that that call was being recorded, and did not give consent. Each state varies as to whether or not that's legal, and this phone call was recorded in Illinois. I'm not sure if it's illegal to record phone calls without the second party being aware or consenting. I am cutting out the first 4 minutes of the video or of the audio because the first 4 minutes are the recruit, the person telling their story and why they're excited to meet Ronald, is what we've named my upline, Platinum. All that has happened up to the point of this phone call is this person that Ronald is talking to on the phone was either recruited by a stranger that he met in person, like at a coffee shop, or online, like LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, or he was actually a friend of someone else who was already in the Amway business. So he was being recruited and referred to my upline because he was the more experienced person who could actually talk about the business. So say for instance, my friend Elizabeth is, she's going to be like, she's a young adult, she's looking for opportunity, and so I, as the Amway rep, would say, oh my gosh, like I have this business mentor, he's really helped me, he's coached me, and like if this would be something you'd be interested in, would you want an opportunity to talk to him, and maybe I could possibly put in a good word for you. And obviously Elizabeth, trusting me as a friend, would say like, of course, yes, thank you. So then I would set up a phone call in which like my upline Ronald would talk with Elizabeth and actually go through these tactics with his silver tongue. So going over this phone call, I just wanted to, instead of playing the stranger's voice, he will be speaking a little bit, but his name isn't mentioned, I don't think, and no personal information is disclosed, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Comment down below, though, if I really need to take down the video and, like, distort voices or something like that. The audio is already a little bit distorted on his end, so But explaining his story a little bit. So from the first 4 minutes of the phone call, Ronald asked, "What is your story?" Because he wanted to get more of a perspective on how to approach talking to his recruit. So he's looking for things that he might actually be able to draw on or pull heartstrings. He's looking for things that he would want to connect with his recruit. So the young man is 25 years old. This gentleman is a single father, and he works at a fast food chain. He doesn't know what he's going to do with the rest of his life. He hasn't chosen a career path, and so he's just looking to make a better life for himself and for his son. So that's the picture, and we're going to play the audio of Ronald talking to this gentleman and telling his story.
I remember very well being you. Right? I remember what it was like to be in your situation.
He remembers what it was like to be in his situation. Just to let you know that this next portion of Ronald's story is going to be a method that he called Feel, Felt, Found. So I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was ... So this is already a method that he's using. This is not him being genuine and actually connecting with his story. He's trying to use this method to connect what the gentleman said in his story to a way that you can be relatable and build rapport.
No idea what direction I was going to go in. I was an engineering major at University of Illinois Chicago. I was an engineering major. And like you, I didn't finish ultimately, but while I was in school, I was actually, I had maybe one more year left of school. I was headed for Cambridge. That was going to be my next step, Cambridge University. I had a flawed 5.0 GPA on a 4-point scale because of some, honors classes that I was able to take and all that stuff. But honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was just in college because that's what I was supposed to do, according to, societal trends. So, right. Like I said, I know exactly what you're talking about when you say that. I felt the exact same way, kind of like, I know I'm going to make it someday, but, the older I got, the more I realized that someday was not a day of the week, right? It didn't go someday, Monday, to, it was like, when is someday going to actually get here? So, the craziest thing is, so I ended up, through my some friends of mine, really good friends, I ended up connecting with a couple who was independently wealthy at very young ages. I mean, in their 30s, these guys were doing some incredible things with their life because they kind of began leveraging some information early on that put them in a really, really good position. So, long story short, I connected with this couple, and I found out that they mentor a handful of people, like 5 to 10 people.
5 to 10 people every year. So this is something that you might see if you're being recruited for a network marketing company, that they only have a certain amount of slots left, or they're looking for a certain amount of slots. The fact is that they will accept anybody, everybody, anybody who will actually fork over the money, anybody who seems willing enough. They will take your money, and they don't actually have a limit to how many people they can take on in their mentorship program. The reason why he's saying that they mentor 5 to 10 people every year is to make it seem more elite than it is. To make it seem like this is a mentorship program that you would be honored if you were accepted into, rather than a multi-level marketing pyramid scheme that if you are gullible enough, you will fall into and lose a lot of money to these people. Also, side note, he says that the couple that he met were financially independent in their 30s and had amassed all of this wealth because they had leveraged a bunch of knowledge that they, had access to, and that they mentor people with this knowledge that they have accumulated. Okay, well, the couple that he's talking specifically about was earning most of their money through the gentleman that he was talking about. Earned most of his money in insurance sales. He was an insurance salesman. He was like the top insurance salesman for a particular insurance company, you know, being flown to all of their corporate events, like first class treatment, all of that. That was the kind of job that he had. And the finances that they built on the side with Amway, not to mention Amway and leadership team development, which is a side business, like it's their tool business. It's not the Amway company itself. It was a tool business that we were also paying subscriptions to. So he's making it out to seem like he made a lot of money in the Amway business, but that's not the case. Ronald's mentor made most of his money through his job, and the money that he made through this business opportunity, at least half of it was made through leadership team development, through the sales of books and audio recordings, and had nothing to do with Amway products. Let's continue.
Every year, they just kind of started giving back. You know what I mean? That was their project in life. Is
How charitable.
And the things that they were learning. And to be able to find people that they could mentor and teach and help start things of their own. Well, I got wind of this. This is a couple out of Dallas, Dallas, Texas. And I heard that they were going to be in Chicago. So, man, I pursued them. Now, admittedly, I was a little bit younger than their traditional candidates. Normally they like to work with people who were, corporate executives who were ready to kind of start businesses on the side of their, corporate fast track programs or whatever. I was obviously not in that position. I was...
Again, making it sound much more elite than it is. In fact, the person that he's talking to right now, 25-year-old, single father, working in a fast food joint. Like, this isn't corporate executive level either, but they're making it sound like it's some elite program that corporate executives who are financially stable and able to actually start their own company, that those are the type of people that they worked with, which is not true. They recruited me at 21 years old working as a receptionist at a car dealership. So everything that he's saying about how he was a little bit young for the typical demographic of who they recruit, not true. Not true at all.
Much younger than their usual candidate. But, man, I pursued them. And over, a 3 to 4 week selection process, it turns out I ended up being one of the people that they decided to mentor. They decided to bring on. And, so for the last, over a decade, they've been helping me develop a business asset outside of any jobs I had early on that allowed me to have a very strong level of financial independence. So that by the time I was 29, I stopped sacrificing my life for paychecks. And that was, 8 years ago. I have not worked for 8 years, and I refuse. I really can't.
So he's saying that he hasn't worked a job in 8 years because of this business asset that he has built. He was able to retire and not work any job, and he had a strong, I don't forget his exact wording, but it was like he had a strong financial independence. Like, he was able to really stop working a job. He does not mention the fact that his wife is still working as a CFO of a construction company, and she's the person who's mainly bringing home the bacon for their family. Not to mention the fact that when she actually did leave her job, allegedly, this is information that I cannot actually bring receipts to confirm, but allegedly, they weren't actually making the amount of money that their family needed to actually be financially independent, and they had planned on living off of savings for a period of time after she left her job. So every boast of financial independence is most likely bluffing.
Currently hate that right now. Well, the cool thing is, there are people out in the world looking to do that. They still mentor people, right? They teach them, through a business system that they've already established, how to start companies that don't require whole lots of tremendous capital startup, partnering up with companies that most people are really familiar with. But,
You're not starting your own company. You are not starting your own company. If you were to, maybe in a technical sense, you might actually have like the licensing of an individual business, but you are not starting your own company. Your name isn't on the brand. You don't get to choose the products. You don't get to choose, like, set the price point. You don't get to choose how much or like what the ingredients are of the products, what products you will sell, what products you won't sell. You don't get to choose any of that. You're selling Amway products for the Amway Corporation. The Amway Corporation is the business. You are not starting your own business. That is just a straight up falsehood. Please do not think that this mentorship opportunity is going to give you the opportunity to open up your own bar or your own restaurant or your own whatever, your own jewelry making company. None of that. You are going to be selling the Amway branded soap. You'll be selling the Amway branded shampoo for the price that Amway sets. So this is not your own company. This is not teaching you how to build your own business asset. This is teaching you how to recruit and scam other people like Ronald is doing right now.
They've developed a business mentorship system that teaches people how to get money working for them instead of them working for it, right?
You're not getting money to work for you. You're getting other people to pay money into the pyramid scheme so that you get a cut of the products that they're going to be selling or they'll be buying. Typically, people within my group specifically didn't actually sell any of the product. They were just buying the product themselves. And so literally, you're not making your money work for you. You're making other people pay money into the pyramid scheme. So this is not some sort of investment, spend money to make money kind of thing. This is a straight up pyramid scheme.
Right. Yeah, right. Put those kinds of incomes in place. So anyways, that's kind of the just what I'm doing. I didn't mean to monopolize the conversation. So, that's why I'm asking questions, man. Like, so what about, with that kind of mentality, there's no reason you can't take life anywhere you want to go if you're properly steered.
Correct.
So
that's correct. Dang, mentor program. That's
a mentor program.
Oh, it's huge. Is it? Yeah. They still got it in the Chicago area.
So no. Remember I told you they're from Dallas, and actually,
okay.
Just moved to Colorado maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. So we're all over the place, man. But it's really hard to explain. And gosh, an $11 billion project
an $11 billion project. He's making it sound like his upline started Amway and is responsible for creating an $11 billion project, which I Googled it today, Amway's net worth, and it was like some people estimated between like 5 and 8 million or $8 billion dollars. So I don't know where the $11 billion thing was, unless it was like a particular year where they sold $11 billion of product. But legitimately, this is not. It's just so false. He's giving such a false impression that his upline, who is like this specific guy, was working on an $11 billion project, and it's just really difficult to explain. And later he'll say, it's kind of proprietary information. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not proprietary information. And if this is proprietary information, sue me, because you come after me, I have a lot more dirt on you that I have chosen not to release on YouTube because I'm trying to be a better person. But this needs to come out because people are actually falling for this. I fell for it, lost $20,000 in a 2.5-year time span in my early 20s. So yeah, this is coming out.
The phone. Plus, a lot of how everything comes together tends to be somewhat proprietary. But let me ask you this. Right? I guess if given the opportunity to be mentored by a multimillionaire who retired at young ages, right, helping people understand what it took for them to do that. If I were able to put in a good word for you, possibly get you connected, would you appreciate an opportunity to even meet somebody like that?
Just to have a conversation with you, you don't need to know, like, for you to even sit down and have this conversation with me, like, I already, like, greatly appreciate, like, like I said, that you even contact me, like, even want my number, like, dang, like, somebody actually noticed me, like, noticed that I try in this place, you know, like I'm doing everything that I can, you know, I'm going that extra mile for everybody and anything possible to make sure my job is done. But they know, like, no matter what, if you over here and I know the job's done, it's complete. If I can talk to a multi-millionaire knows how to do that and teach me how to do that, oh man, that'll be I don't even have words for it. That'd be so awesome. That'll be crazy. Okay. I feel like
this is probably the most heart-wrenching, like gut-wrenching part of this phone call, because number one, okay, I let this play because the gentleman on the other end of the line was just truly appreciative, truly just touched that someone would notice that he worked hard, that he goes the extra mile. And as you heard him say, he felt noticed. And that's exactly how I felt. And that's exactly how multi-level marketing recruiters or network marketing recruiters will try to make you feel. They make you feel noticed. They make you feel validated. They play into the emotions that you need, like the emotional vacancy that you have. That's what they try to play into. And this gentleman explains it perfectly. Like, he's so grateful for the opportunity to even sit down and talk with someone who could possibly connect him with someone. He's just so filled with gratitude that this opportunity could even exist for him, to even talk to him, and the fact that someone noticed him and actually wanted to help him succeed because he's trying and doing the extra mile. Like, this is what network marketing exploits, is people's personal vulnerabilities and people's deep desires and deep motivation. That's what they're seeking to exploit. And Ronald saying all of these things, saying, if I could hook you up with a multi-level marketing, or not a multi-level marketing, a multi-millionaire. I have no idea if the person that he's talking about is a multi-millionaire, but as I've explained before, he made most of his money elsewhere. It's not through Amway. So, just context is key. And what Ronald always used to say is, if you take the text out of context, what you're left is a con. And that is exactly what Ronald is doing here. He's taking the text out of context, and what he is presenting to this poor, ambitious, driven, well-articulated gentleman is a con. Let's see if he has any more BS to share with us.
I met a real star.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything has a reason for its existence, for its happening. So let me do this. I'm going to be with...
So he doesn't believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. What is he alluding to? Is he possibly alluding to a divine purpose for this conversation? Is this almost getting into the realm of fate or religion? Maybe that'll be a next video. Leave them down in the comments below any kind of topic that you want me to address. I will expose it all, except for like maybe a couple proprietary things, because it's proprietary information, you know. We're all about that.
I'm going to be with him this weekend, heading down to Louisville, Kentucky. You know, some of the people that he's mentored, and actually some people that he's been mentored by. I mean, these are people who, these guys, they have their own airplanes, right? They don't go to the airport. They go to their hangar, and they pull their airplane out of their hangar, and they fly themselves wherever they want to go. So anyways, I'm going to be with these guys this weekend down in Louisville. Let me have a conversation with them and bring your name up. I'll put in a good word for you. Just tell them what I remember about your service. I know.
Oh man,
I know that.
I really appreciate that. If they even like,
I'll tell them what I remember about your service. So this is someone who served Ronald at a Steak and Shake. This isn't what I was talking about before, of a friend of the person introducing him to Ronald. No, Ronald actually recruited this person from a Steak and Shake that he went to, and he was so impressed with this guy's above and beyond attitude and service at a Steak and Shake that he's like, you know what? I'm going to recruit you into my MLM business. That's what I'm going to do, sir, who is probably working close to minimum wage, if not minimum wage. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in Chicago, in one of the most expensive cities in the U.S. to live in. I mean, I don't know if it's like top 10 or whatever, but come on. Do you have any limit of who you will exploit? And no, bet, Ronald did not say that he was, it did not actually go to his mentor and say, hey, I met this person at a Steak and Shake, and he just gave really excellent service, and I was wondering if you would want to mentor him long distance, from Colorado to Chicago, just mentor him because I want to hook you up with him. No, what he's going to do, and this is what we were all trained to do as well, what he's going to do is he's going to come back to this gentleman, because this gentleman is clearly showing so much appreciation. So he's going to go back to this gentleman and say, you know what, I talked to my mentor, and because of the long distance thing, it's probably not going to work out that he directly mentors you, but, I have achieved a certain level of success in this business as well. And, if this is something that you'd be interested in, I would be willing to possibly take you through these next steps and get you started in your own thing because I'm qualified as well. Like something along those lines, but no way is he going to actually go up to his, quote unquote multi-level millionaire upline in Colorado and ask if he can mentor a young 25-year-old single father in Chicago who works at a Steak and Shake and probably is just, honestly, Steak and Shake income. There's nothing, everything is respectable about a fast food job or, any sort of, if you're employed, it's respectable. So, please don't take this as, a bashing that job or anything like that. I just know that if you're working at a Steak and Shake, you're paying bills. That's what you're doing. You're not trying to start your own startup company with a bunch of money with up to $1,000 a month in payments like I was making. I was making those product payments and everything with my, Chevrolet dealership receptionist income of $12 an hour. This is not how it goes, people.
listen to you for 10 minutes. I appreciate that. I mean, you did that conversation.
Yeah, I will do that. And, again, I can't make any promises at this point. But I did, before I just, threw your name out there, I wanted to at least talk to you and see if you're looking for something. And it seems like you are.
I'm looking for any opportunity. Not any opportunity, but if it's a good opportunity and I know a better me in life, I'll most definitely jump on it. Because like I said, I just want to better myself for me and my son. Me growing up, I was single. My dad was a single father for raising his 2 years. So my father figures everything that I know, and I just want to be the best thing. I want to remind my son of everything I thought of my dad, so, and he took care of everything that we needed and wanted, and I just want to be able to do the same thing for him.
Yep. I love that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a dad also. I have 3 children myself. I homeschool.
I'm one and done. I learned my lesson.
Okay.
Watch him do feel, felt, found again.
Until later.
It's I know how that goes too, by the way. And they're blessings, but they're worth waiting for.
Yes, sir.
And whatever. But the cool thing is, based on what I've learned from these guys, my time is my own. My kids are in the other room. They're playing. We already got our schoolwork done for the morning because I homeschool them. So I have my infant daughter sleeping in another room, my other two kids playing in the other room, and I'm here looking out my balcony overlooking. Just an incredible scene, and I'm hanging out with my kids.
He doesn't even mention his wife. He's just saying like, oh, I live independently and I take care of my 3 children. He's not mentioning that his wife is actually out there working a CFO job, like a C-level job. Like, no, that's not mentioned. He's just trying to relate to the fact that, I also am a father and I understand the importance of taking care of your children. Man, this guy is 25 years old and he is just trying to do right by his child, just like his father did for him. Like, what more of a noble cause is that? Is active and like engaged fatherhood, especially in this country. And this guy, Ronald, oh my gosh. I listened to this earlier today. This isn't like an initial reaction or anything like that. I listened to it earlier today. And it honestly just made me sick to my stomach because the fact that Ronald is just continuously exploiting and continuously manipulating this young gentleman for his own personal gain when this gentleman is really just trying to make it in this world. Ugly.
That's great.
And that's like... It takes a different kind of thinking to put that stuff in place, and that's kind of what I was taught. So, anyways, like I said, let me bring your name up, and maybe I'll be able to I'll call you back by the end of the weekend, hopefully with some good news.
Okay, I'll be looking for your call. I appreciate the talk, and I appreciate you putting it over. You're right.
No problem.
So, he's gonna call back with good news. Facts. He's gonna call back and say, so I have some good news, and blah, 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 everything that I have said previously. This is the initial phone call that Ronald made to check interest in opportunity. He's trying to see whether or not this would be a good fit. But what he's really looking for is someone who is desperate for opportunity, someone who's eager and willing to do whatever it takes, and willing to trust. He's trying to build a friendship and a rapport with this person, trying to build that connection by actually like relating on certain points and drawing on those heartstrings and build an emotional connection so that when it actually comes down to talking about business, it will seem like all of the information that he was alluding to made sense and there was a reason why it was phrased that way. It's shocking to me to look back on this phone call and for me to listen back on this. This was a training phone call. This was a phone call that Ronald recorded without the other gentleman's consent and sent to all of his downline so that his downline could learn from his example of how to tell your multi-level marketing or your network marketing story in a way that is compelling and that draws a connection to the person that you could be recruiting. The fact that I listened to this phone call and did not see the bluffs, didn't see the manipulation, didn't see the straight up deceit at times of this phone call is really just further evidence that I was totally brainwashed, totally just cult-like mentality, following whatever he said. And literally I've been listening to some other old recordings, and the way that we hung on every word that came from his mouth is sickening. It's sickening. So yeah, this is the kind of information that I am kind of sifting through now. After having told my whole Amway story, it's important to me to make sure that all of the information is out there, that I can provide as much value to the YouTube community, to anybody who will listen to me, to provide as much value as possible so that if you are seeing or sensing that someone is talking to you about an opportunity in a similar way, that you could hear some of the different tones, the different things that they connect with, the different tactics that they use to build that personal connection, and you can actually detect whether or not someone is being genuine or literally just trying to recruit you into a pyramid scheme. So please let me know if there's more questions that you have, if there's more things that you'd like me to touch on. As I've gotten more into this YouTube realm, I'm learning how to maybe articulate things a little bit better. So if there's something on my original Amway videos that I didn't explain very well or that I need to expound on, please let me know, because I'm an open book, and I just want to make videos that will resonate with people. If you have already been drawn into a pyramid scheme like this, I understand how you feel. I felt the same way. And what I found was that people who recruit for multi-level marketing companies, they are either very evil, wicked people who are trying to exploit people in their vulnerabilities, or they are very vulnerable, exploited people who are just trying to make it in a realm of multi-level marketing that is not actually paying off, that's not actually producing the results that they were promised, and they're just trying to prove themselves right, prove their families and their friends wrong, because they are trying to stick it out, because they really believe that this kind of business asset, this kind of business structure works and is beneficial to all people, which it's not. It's a pyramid scheme, and it only benefits the people who are at the upper levels. So with that, I will end this video, but thank you for sticking it out with me, and I really look forward to keeping on sharing the truth about network marketing, multi-level marketing, and putting these people on blast. So, okay, bye.